Alright guys, hope you're all doing well. In today's stream we learnt a lot more about the factions of New York, including a new legendary faction within the Black Tusk, the White Black Tusk outfit reward, and Eagle Bearer 2.0. If you enjoy this one, drop a like. If you didn't, a dislike. Subscribe for dedicated Division 2 content. And let's begin. So as usual, I have bullet points of everything worth knowing from today's stream in this recap video. I'm going to go down the list here and talk to you about everything that we learned. So today we had Hamish, Mackenzie and Drew. Now Mackenzie is someone who's never been on State of the Game before. He's a new guest, he's a game designer and works with Drew on NPCs and AI. Hamish went over the priority alerts to start off with. There was no maintenance this week. There's apparently some weird walls. They're not the same as the invisible ones, but there's some weird walls that have come up in the game, and these are going to be fixed with Title Update 8 releasing with Warlords on March 3rd. The PS4 pre-order, they are still working on it, but I believe it's more of a Sony issue. They didn't say this on stream, but I believe it's a Sony issue at the moment. You're only going to be able to pre-order the expansion on March 3rd, which is the release date. They did confirm that any pre-order bonuses will be available to everyone before April 3rd. So if you do have to pre-order or buy it basically on March 3rd, then you are still going to be entitled to those pre-order bonuses. Twitch drops for people that actually tuned into the stream for the world premiere. There's been some issues with these. I've not actually been able to get mine, but what they've said is that if you log in before March 3rd, then as an apology for all the issues, everyone is essentially going to get that. And with that said as well, the whole community event that I covered yesterday, the community challenge that was completed, the hashtag Find Tommy, we are getting a weapon skin for that. I don't know if it's available in the game right now, but I believe it probably is. So yeah, a weapon skin. They didn't say what the skin was, they just said it's really, really cool. They then talked about the Black Hunter outfit. Now this is something that people have been talking about on Twitter a lot. So at the moment there's two outfits. There's the Stinger, which is what you get through the friend referral, and then there's the Covert Hunter outfit as well. This is going to be available in store for purchase. They didn't actually give us a price, and also it can be found in Apparel Caches as well. They said soon. Then they went on to kind of talk about like it is in the game currently, but I don't believe it's in the store currently or in the caches at the moment. It's probably going to be something that comes out again with Warlords, but they didn't confirm either way. They said that the Stinger, by the way, for anyone that's gone through to get these friend referrals, they can take up to 24 hours to receive. If you've not been able to get it, then you need to contact Ubisoft support on Twitter or just go onto the website if you want to. Now moving on to factions, what do we need to know? That was the question put to Drew. Now Warlords, we are going back to New York, lower Manhattan of New York. Cleaners and Rikers have made their way back down there. Cleaners have evolved, they're more battle hardened and they're more threatening. You got to experience them in episode 3 for Coney Island. The Rikers, with the death of LeRae Barrett, they have recruited from all around kind of desperate groups, and they formed a brand new faction that kind of rallies behind the Riker ethos. They've changed quite a bit, the Rikers. Then we have the remnants of the LMB as well. They have essentially joined the Black Tusk. So the Black Tusk have kind of been reinforced with some new archetypes and some new Warhound variants. So they went on to talk about the Cleaners. There's, the Legacy Cleaners, the Assault, the Heavy and the Flamer Tank. And then there are new archetypes. They said that beneath the hood, while they have, for example, the Assault, while it will have the underbarrel flamethrower and the tank on the back with a kind of like a brand new mesh, they have built the Cleaners off the brand new AI used for the Division 2. They have a lot more tactical awareness and skills than in Division. The Heavy Flamethrower, for example, each weak point ties to certain abilities, so you can decide on what ability you want them to have or not have, depending on which weak point you actually target. The question was asked, what's the biggest changes coming to Cleaners? Well, the first one they said was the jumper car. And this is what appears to be a brand new skill. It's called, I believe, the Firebrand. The sniper for the Cleaners, what it does is deploy an RC car that follows the sniper around. If you get too close, the car will actually launch itself at you. They talked about the engineer in the Division where it deployed a turret. In the Division 2, they've got this turret that has they called it napalm goo. It's a dev term. It's probably called something different. And the mechanic for this is cover denial. So when the shell from the turret actually explodes on cover, it stops you from using that cover because it basically attaches this goo to the cover that you can't get onto. Unfortunately, there were no images to show how it all works, which would have been nice, but they didn't have it on the stream. They said that in the Division 1, they had an RC car that would come after you if you explode as well from one of the archetypes. Now this archetype will actually have a drone that drops bombs instead. So there's been some significant changes made to the cleaners to make them more lethal and just different from what they were in the Division. Now, between the cleaners and the Rikers, you are going to need to kind of change the skills that you use to be most effective to each one. For example, cleaners have a lot of weak points. So the blinder Firefly, for example, is really good. I don't think it's a blinder one. I can't remember which Firefly it is. The Firefly that essentially destroys weak points. It's not the blinder one. What am I talking about? They then went on to talk about the Rikers. Now, the Rikers, they are more about teamwork. They're more about gunplay and flanking. You know, you've got dual-wielding SMGs, you've got nail bombs. They want to talk about archetypes. The thrower for Rikers has a proximity detonated nail bomb. The tank now has a nail gun and a shield. The heavy will set up a stationary LMG. They can use it, and anyone else can use it in their group. They said that a good skill against this would be the addition of the sticky bomb coming in Warlords, because you can essentially fire it at the gun. When they go onto cover, you can blow the whole thing up. The Riker sniper has a shield. They don't actually snipe from cover anymore, and they have a taser gun, so they're going to be in different locations to where you would expect them to be. They confirmed that some of the OG Rikers are back, but they're a little bit different. There are the leader archetypes in there. They are the elite. They use cover a lot better. They cover their teammates, and they give everyone a overheal buff. And they've made the UI better to make you understand when stuff is happening, when they're applying buffs and all of that sort of stuff. So ideally with this particular archetype, you're going to want to kill that leader first due to the overheal, which goes away after you actually kill that leader. The question was asked, anything else with the Rikers? Well, the tank, you know, as I said before, it has a big shield, but it also has a flasher on it. Now, the flasher is a weak point, and when it blows up, it actually blinds the tank and everyone behind him. So it's kind of a cool mechanic. If you can get kind of people in a line, essentially, you can blind the whole lot of them and take them all out. Now, moving on to the Black Tusk. As I said before, they have new recruits. These are only found in legendary missions. So there's the Rusher from the LMB who will rush at you with an assault rifle. Then when they get close, they're going to switch to the shotgun. The elite will actually throw a flash grenade as well. The old drone operator won't be seen as often, so there's going to be a lot less drones because it's kind of in replacement of that. The LMB support, which is part of the Black Tusks now, they will deploy a support station to everyone, and the elite gives everyone an overheal. If you don't shoot it or don't destroy it and kill everyone, this will give you medkits as well. They talked about the two new warhounds that are coming. There's the Grenadier, where this will move to a new position. It will kind of fire a volley of 3 grenades. On normal difficulty, it will be explosive grenades, and on elite, it will be shot grenades. There's the minigun warhound. They kind of move around a lot. They never really actually stop. They just keep on unloading this minigun. And for this, it's a lot about avoiding exposure. They actually have big red weak points on their legs, so you're going to want to target those as well. And it is possible for all 3 warhounds to spawn in one instance. They then went on to briefly talk about the new friendlies, the Peacekeepers. All they said was they're better than the JTF. They don't trust you, but they want to help, and they're not dressed in shorts and flip-flops, which is, I think, a good thing. They want to talk about Legendary. Now, Legendary is for level 40 only, so it's only going to be available with the expansion. They have created a brand new faction that's still part of the Black Tusk, but they have brand new AI. They took the core essence of all the archetypes and twisted it in a more kind of challenging way. The tank will, for example, will try to close the gap, as they will have in Legendary, will have a Stinger Hive. And obviously they want to close the gap so they can use the Stinger Hive. And they're going to be, again, they're going to be dressed all in white, this new faction. So that's pretty cool. Drew actually hinted at the possibility of being able to get the white outfits from completing legendary missions. So yeah, look out for that. They then talked about hunters. Yes, there are going to be ones in New York. I think the question was asked, you know, if there's going to be some in New York, are there going to be some in Washington D.C? There's going to be hunters in both. They talked about DZ PvP. I think they just wanted to clarify the bracket. So there's going to be a level 30 and a level 40 bracket. Level 30 can play level 40 Dark Zone. They will be scaled up with armor, health and damage, but not other attributes. It won't buff you all the way to level 40, but you're going to be pretty much almost there. And the loot you get will be at your level. okay, not the level that you're scaling up to. The raid, if you're a level 40 player and have a level 30 friend, you will be able to play together. The gear, again, will scale up with your level along with the rewards. Shade levels will be account wide. That's very good news, but you have to be level 40. And I've had this question yesterday in my video where someone said I was wrong. I'm not wrong. Shade levels are only available to people at level 40. If you don't have the expansion, then you will not get shade levels. Any reasons to go back to DC as an expansion owner? This was a question asked and something that people have been talking about. Well, they got more to talk about this next week because we've got Seasons, and they said that Seasons is a big part why you would go back. At the end of Warlords, New York and DC are kind of your playground, targeted loot as well. It looks as though this will be across both cities, so you won't have, say, for example, assault rifles in New York to collect and then assault rifles in Washington D.C. It's going to be one or the other. So if you want, say, assault rifles and it's in DC, you're going to have to go back to DC in order to farm them with the targeted loot. They confirm daily, weekly projects as well will require you to go back to DC to do certain stuff. There is a bug at the moment with the Cleaner Rusher. It's very fast in Coney Island, and this is being fixed for Title Update 8. A new version of the raid will drop with the Eagle Bearer 2.0. Now this came as a result of people asking what's going to happen to my Eagle Bearer, because exotics are not being, basically you will not be able to scale up your exotics, your existing exotics, to level 40 with the expansion. So Eagle Bearer 2.0 is coming with the new version of the raid. There is going to be no PTS for Warlords of New York, no early access or anything like that. What they said is they really want people just to experience the expansion at the same time, so that's what they're doing. Then they start just talking about the the 4 rats that you can shoot on Coney Island to spawn the Radican named NPC. I actually did a video on this recently. Drew said there was actually 2 and then kind of retracted, so maybe there is another boss on that particular mission that we don't know about. Maybe it's worth checking for any of you guys who like that sort of stuff. Maybe that's worth checking. And next week stream will be about Seasons. So that's it for today's video, guys. Hopefully you did enjoy this one. I'm really looking forward to Seasons next week, because to me, Seasons are going to be the make or break for endgame of the new expansion. So it really needs to deliver. So make sure that you stay tuned for that one. I probably will have a video out on Friday this week. And also next week's State of the Game is the last State of the Game before the expansion comes out. By the way, guys, if you haven't already, turn on notifications. I am going to be streaming the Warlords of New York expansion, the whole campaign. Hopefully, if my works. No, it will work. So yeah, I'll be streaming the whole campaign, and of course I'm going to be uploading plenty of material to this channel. Thanks very much for all of your support, guys, and until the next one, epic out.